Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Detox Podcast. Here we're live at the ranch today. First, let's get this all started. I want to give a shout out to Detox Podcast, my boys De Niro, Santana, Sable, Marcus, everybody over there that's be out there doing their thing. Hold on, give me 1 second. Just to let you know, we are live now. So if you want to go ahead and go ahead, share the live, share the broadcast. Because tonight we got an interesting subject. Those of you who was watching last week, you saw Pops came on here. We talked about healing, but now I want to talk about something that it's a serious question because I see a lot of it, hear a lot of it, and I want to know what other people think because my opinion ain't the only one that matters. So at any point in time, feel free to post your comments, but respect other folks gonna have some things to say. It's all right. We all family, all friends. Don't be afraid to give it. But I'm going to bring my guest on. Most of you know him, and if you don't, you soon will. Knowing this young man growing up, actually he's older than me, but growing up all my life, we grew up together, went to church together, the whole thing. But, I'm going to let him introduce himself. JB, go ahead, unmute yourself, Jay.
What's up, Cuzzo?
How you doing, brother?
All right, all is well, man.
Oh, man.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh no, thank you for accepting the invite.
I think I'm too close. Back up or something. Like there we go. That's a little better.
Nah, man, I'm happy you came because I'm gonna tell you right now, you get on here, you say some things, and so I know.
So you trying to get me in some trouble, but we
listen,
don't see.
I'm gonna tell you right now, don't get on here and say nothing that will get you in trouble at home because that's not what this is about. I am not held responsible for anybody to come on this show and say something and get them in trouble back home, So
I'm all right, man.
All right, you know what I mean? So we talking about love tonight. And the way I posted it, we're gonna have to break it down because there's two things. You got love and then you have in love. So the first one we're gonna talk about, is it possible to love, not be in love, but just love multiple people, in your opinion?
So let me clarify this. I don't know how I got champion for this particular topic, but I'm gonna do my best to try to shed some light on what I think about it. I will also say that some of the things that may come up as it pertains to this topic don't necessarily apply to me per se as a lifestyle choice, but I do understand them because a lot of times, like we're not able to approach things objectively, so we only if we don't like it, then we just we kind of just cast it aside, cast it aside, I kind of see the benefit in a lot of different things, and so what you're talking about, I do believe is possible. It is called polyamory, which is a word, obviously, that combines poly, which where we get multiple. So anything that's poly is multiple, and amor, which is love. So it is the ability to love multiple people, and that takes on a bunch of different facets. So a lot of times when we get to talking about poly, we often talk about just in a romantic capacity. But like you said, you're able to love people. Not everyone that you love is going to be in a romantic capacity. So you do have the ability to love people for different reasons. And I just think that depends on the person. One of the things that I guess I should mention is that love doesn't have a capacity.
I mean, okay, but all right, but we got to think about it though. So you can love someone mentally, because of their mind frame, how they make you feel mentally. You can love someone emotionally. You can love people physically, but not necessarily all at the same time, right? Because I might, like you said, this is not pertaining to my situation. Everyone knows I love my girl. I'm in love with my girl, but you got.
Proud of you, bro.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. You got the mainstream right here. You love her, but then you got your Danny Lay on the other side, and you could love her for whatever other reason.
Well, that's actually a key part of people who live a poly lifestyle. That's like understood in those circles. Like if you have a polycule, which they call whatever your circle is, of multiple people that you're entertaining for whatever reason, you don't have to be sleeping with all of those people. Um, it is understood that you do have a primary, which is the term that they use. They have a primary and a secondary. Normally, outside of that, you're in what's now being called a thruple, and then you can define that however you want to.
As an
But
orgy, throuple, aka
well,
orgy.
no. See, that's one of the common misconceptions as well, because just because you're polyamorous does not mean that you are sleeping with all of the people that you're in a relationship with, and or the people that you're in a relationship with also don't have to be sleeping with each other. So that's part of the understanding of the piece of being in a polyamorous relationship, is that you have an understanding of whatever your sexual pattern is, if that's what y'all doing. Because some people just are going on dates, you know, some people are just hanging out. Some people are in financial relationships or have financial obligations to people. And that is why, you know, they choose to entertain, you know, the polyamory. People have a bunch of different reasons for doing it. And so we often just kind of relegate it to sex. But just kind of after doing research and kind of understanding that people do it for a bunch of different
No, I'm with you. I understand it, you know,
reasons.
but like you say, it's for the people who don't really understand it. It's easy for us to just cast it to the side and be like, you know, that ain't what I know. That ain't how I feel. So they crazy over there. So you know,
Yeah.
I follow what you're saying, you know, but it's just it's weird because nowadays you have people who don't really understand the whole poly behind it, behind the meaning, and it's just like it's kind of their escape. Like you got people who get caught up in situations, and their whole thing is like, oh, I can't choose because I love them both. And then you know, I think so. That's where a lot of people go ahead.
Well, I think that goes back to your worldview. You know, like you're saying, like the only reason that becomes a dilemma is if you have subscribed to a worldview of monogamy. So if that is what you're subscribing to, then you do have to make a choice. You know, because that's what you feel like is going to work best for you. But if you don't subscribe to that sort of worldview, let's say, you know, you want to just continue to love them both. Um, that doesn't put you know. I always say, man, whatever works best for you. And what I'm learning is as people get older, they don't have to make excuses, man. They full on adults. Like a lot of times we say, oh, people make excuses and they want to justify what they want to do in life. People don't have to do that at all. Like they don't have to use the Bible to do it. They don't have to use logic to do it. Like, and so like I think like people are coming up with more concepts or terms to actually define things that people have felt for years and they just haven't been had a way to articulate it. And so now there's just a bunch of information that's available to you. Um, you know, if you just kind of want to be educated about, you know, the benefits of it. But I will say this for the monogamous person that wants to make that decision. The question you have to ask is how you got in that place in the first place. Because like it's very unlikely that you fell in love with both people simultaneously, like you
Mm,
know, like at the
mm.
same time, you know. So like one track was like ahead of the other, or you know, and that's one of the contentions with like dating multiple people,
It,
which a lot of people are doing in this day and time, which is
yeah.
advantageous. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no need for you to be 35 sitting around here with nobody when you got all of these apps. You know, your DM is probably full of people. You walk past a bunch of single men every day.
Listen,
Like, I feel like you should take all your shots when you should take them. And if somebody shows you something, then you can kind of like, you know, make more of a commitment.
it's
But
hard though. It's hard nowadays because, like you said, it's a lot of access, and so a lot of people in this day and age are so used to dealing with people who are failing, you know, on the dating scene. So now
mhm.
when people go out, the expectations are, what's wrong with this one? You know, it's like they go in there already negative. So I think,
Well, I think part of the thing is the emphasis we actually put on dating. Like we put the wrong emphasis on our dating experience.
Well, I mean, how
Like,
else do you define it? Because it's like you want to date somebody, to get to know them, learn about them, to figure out
right,
where you want to go in
exactly.
the future. So it's like, I mean, it's a strong.
That is true, but a lot of times at a certain point, once we start having fun and going out and enjoying each other's company, or you make me laugh and we create a couple memories, or you like the same ice cream I like, when all those things start to stack up, you forget about the initial initiative was for you to just get to know the person. So you forget about the fact that it's a get to know you process. And so you become invested for whatever reason. And this is how you fall in love with two people. Like you were saying, you become invested with somebody, and you get connected in a relationship, instead of like looking at it objectively, and just trying to get to know the person, just
I'm gonna
purely just getting to know them.
I'm gonna just say this for anyone out there who has the ability to love multiple people and is actually doing it on the dating scene at least. Kudos to you. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not that guy. I failed. That's when I figured out I was a one woman man, because I was going out with dating multiple people, trying to figure out who I wanted to be with. And next thing I know, I was walking around talking about, oh, I love her. And I love her. But in reality, I mean, I didn't know what the hell love was. I was probably like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Keep running it up.
25, 26.
25, keep running it up. But I mean, it's like, I'm gonna be real. Like for me, I feel like it's a very slippery. It's like a very thin line, as far as like loving multiple people at the same time, because it's like then you get confused, and you start to look at yourself and question, like, well, what are you judging about each person the right way, or what is, like, what's wrong with them, and you start to kind of second guess your decisions. And it's like one thing I realized, that if you're gonna try to be involved with multiple people at the same time, like you don't have to you have to really separate each person. You can't like compare the two. Like, so if I'm with woman A over here, I can't be looking at woman B like, well, shoot, she do this, and then try to turn woman B into woman A. You got to keep them separate, because they two separate people. And so I feel like, for me personally, I feel like loving two people at the same time is a difficult thing. So, like I said, if somebody can do it, kudos to them. I mean, hats off to you, but it ain't me. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of things, in order to be successful at that. One of the things is communication. A lot of people aren't successful at that. The craziest part is people do it anyway. This is just the honest truth. Like, one of the basis, like I guess the most base. I don't know how to say this in a better way, but like like if you're talking about polyamory, right? Most people are are already in what they call a metamor. Most people who are dating are already in that, like whether they understand that or not. And the definition of that is somebody who is dating somebody, and that person is dating someone else.
Okay, so I
That's
got a
literally the.
quick question.
Go
So
ahead.
I got somebody in the comments, Sable, and Sable says only time you date multiple people is when you can't find what you want in one person.
The truth is, every single person that's married, and if they tell you anything different than this, they might tell you a lie. Every
Woo!
single person that's married
There's
has
a lot of
settled
married
for
folks watching
something.
this.
That's fine. They can watch it. And this is true. They settle for something. They do not get the totality of what they want. This is an undeniable fact. Like, there's nothing you can say about that. Like, you do not get the totality of what you want. What you do get are things that are a priority to you. And so, like, you find somebody that can typically serve the needs or your wants or desires, however you want to define that. And whatever those things that are a priority to you, that's what you do get. But no one gets like everything that they want. And typically, what you find with people that have been married for a long time is that a lot of stuff that they initially had on their list is no longer on that list.
You got to cross it off, because you got to.
Yeah, people change, you change. Time goes by, certain things that meant, like even now, things that meant things to you 10 years ago don't mean the same to you now. Even last year, like, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, the ability to go play basketball means so much more to you now than it did last year. Like you just, like, there are certain factors of life that cause you to evolve, and there are certain things that as you become older, you don't care about anymore. And so that's why a lot of people have issues kind of narrowing down their list, because as they get older, they change. And so as they change, their list kind of change. And so you're expecting the dating market to adhere to kind of a vacillating standard, if you will. Like if you're going to settle, you have to kind of settle in on, and then we get to a point to where people just, I just want you to be honest. Like, after you get to a certain age, have two eyes and 2 feet. And
let me tell you right now, look, the dating game is scary. Like, extremely scary. The dating game right now, ain't no love out there. Folks getting catfish left and right. Folks out here being used. Like, it's a sunken place. Anybody out there in the dating world?
The reason it is because a lot of people have an identity crisis. Like they see so much, and so then they want to do everything, and that's not it. Everything ain't for everybody. So sometimes, like the overload of information is not good for everybody. Like sometimes you should turn that stuff off, because some people will, just because they think somebody likes a picture or respond to them on Instagram or Facebook, they immediately think that person is accessible, like somewhere in their mind, and that's not what that means. Like that doesn't mean you have a chance to date that person, like because y'all friends on Facebook. Like,
hey, I'm so glad you brought that up, because if you follow the Detox podcast, that's one thing they always talk about, is like etiquette on social media. As far as like, if you go into a girl's DMs, you send her a message and she don't respond, like how you don't all of a sudden don't turn into that, F you, you little, like you ain't got, and that's what happens a lot of times, is folks get offended when someone doesn't respond to them in the way they feel that they should.
I mean, that's a natural reaction, man. And I'm not saying
that's a reaction.
That's been happening. That's been happening since the beginning of time.
But that don't mean it's natural. It don't mean it should be.
No, yeah. That's why I wanted to kind of dial it back. I'm not saying it's a natural reaction.
Oh, okay.
That's just like, that's not new, is what I'm saying. Like,
because I was gonna ask, is that you? That's what you be doing.
I don't get denied, first of all. So let's start there. Okay. I don't shoot shots or miss. Let's be clear. All right.
Oh, you 100% from the free throw line?
I damn near am, bro.
Oh,
if I shoot, especially, man, I'm 31 years old, bro.
Okay.
Like, I don't shoot shots at stuff that I don't hit. Like, I don't like, even if I'm out at a function, I don't like cross the room like, hey girl, come talk to me. I'm not that kind of guy. Like, hey, come to. I never like. I'm not like. If you don't show any interest, if I don't know the door is open before we start communicating, I'm probably not even going to talk to you. Exactly. I have enough on my plate to not have to try to I'm good, bro. So
I'm not trying
to be honest with you. I don't miss any shots at 31 years old, and I mean that wholeheartedly. That is no bragging. I'm honest to God, I don't miss no shots.
I'm real about mine, because I'm 29. I ain't even hit 30 yet. But pre my relationship, I was about a 69%, but now that's all gone. That's all behind me.
You got to know when to shoot. It's about shot selection, bro. Field goal percentage is all about
one thing I always thought, how my mind frame worked, is just always like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So it's like, put it out there. It's like going fishing. You put the hook out. If they bite, reel it in. If they don't,
I had that energy at one point. I had that ambition.
I'm still young.
Right. I had that ambition at one point, but I just got tired of it. It was just like, nah, that's enough. Because you can put your best foot forward, and like a lot of times, to be honest, even when I have been turned down, like I almost like typically usually get a shot, and then it's like, nah, I don't like him no more. Like at a certain point, and then at that point, I'm like, all right, why did I waste my time?
Because you learned something. You dated.
I probably did learn something. Like you never look back on a situation and think like, I don't think bad things about any of my previous situations, man. I got nothing bad to say about nobody I've ever dated. I don't carry that type of baggage. It's like, It's all good. It's all learning experience.
Oh, you're a better man than me. Anyway, so we gonna move on to the next point of it. So
I was trying to see what Dayton was talking about.
what are you talking about? Go ahead, read
So
it.
he was talking about. He said, I got to kind of go back. He said, settling versus building. If you look at the former, then you're not committed to the latter,
Mm,
or you lower its priority in a relationship. So I think what he's saying is, if you're trying to build, then it's basically you're not settling, and so you're like lowering the priority of settling if you're trying to build, which is a great point. Like
it go either
like,
way.
but
Right?
I mean, like, what I think when it comes to settling, though, like positive settling is just settling on your like, just making sure your non-negotiables, like you're not violating your non-negotiables in
Yeah.
any way,
Okay.
and that the things that you need, like your essentials, are being satisfied. So that's like, I think that's the basis. But to me, in my mind, that's still settling. Like, like, because those are not my
If you
standards.
got something standards and it's what you want,
Yeah, like
you
you
gotta,
gotta have more. Like you gotta have
yeah.
more standards than purely just like. To me, that's bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so when you talk about building, though, when you get into the category of building, then whatever it is that you are committing to is based off of potential, and that's always dangerous.
Oh yeah.
That's very, very dangerous. Like I think one of the best things it can behoove you to do is to accept people for who they are, where they
Yeah.
are.
Because people, the one thing I've learned about people when I was out in the dating world is that people show you who they are very early in the situation, and it's up to you to either accept or you can become a person in denial. And a lot of times, that people make mistake is they try to change a person. And I've said it before, and I say it again. We're at a point in our lives. We're at a point. 2020 has shown us a lot. You can't change nobody. Don't waste your time.
No, you know,
If they show you they a snake, you better go ahead and let them be a snake and move on with your life. Because otherwise, you're gonna end up wasting your time spinning your wheels, and it ain't worth it.
yeah.
But I wanna ask you another question. This is the big one.
All right.
Can someone, in your opinion, because I'm gonna say right now, no, it ain't possible. But in your
Okay.
opinion, can someone be in love with multiple people?
Not totally. No.
Not at all.
not
It's not
not
even.
totally. No.
It's not even a 1%. You can't do it.
Well, what does it mean to be in love? So
In
define
love.
that.
Hold on, because
Define that for me.
everyone has their own definition of in love.
All right. So
As
then
far as
you can't
me,
say that then.
okay,
So
but yeah,
you asked me, right?
yeah. So I want to hear your.
You
Oh,
asked
let me hear
me.
you. Let me hear Jeremy's
But
interpretation.
I want to know what your definition of being in love
My
is first. I
definition.
asked you, so I'm just curious.
Okay, my definition of in love is a soul companion, a soul companion to the point of where you give your all to this person. This person,
Soul as in one, or soul as in like I give my soul, like soul as in like soul
soul,
proprietorship one only.
soul like this, or right,
Okay,
this,
okay, all
this
right.
is yours. Like
So
we
your
are.
soul don't belong to God. Okay, good.
Man, stop it.
All right. I'm just. I thought you was. I thought your body and your soul. Hey, belong to God. But go ahead. I can't hear you. No, you on your mic is done. No mic. You're muted. I think Dr. Stallion is having some technical difficulties. Um, but what I was gonna say is, I think being in love is defined by reciprocity of love. So if you are in love, it's because you send and receive love. Like it is the enveloping of love, and in my idea. So um, I don't feel like that's completely possible. Um, if you with multiple people. Like I do believe you can love multiple people for a bunch of different ways. But being in love, I think, denotes a certain level of totality, like a certain level of kind of being fully in. I don't want to say fully invested because I think you can be in love with somebody that like, and it's hard because there are people in love with other folks that they don't even like. So I mean, like it's really hard to define that. Like I'm, and I guess when I'm defining it, I mean by my definition, what I mean like being truly in love, like like being in true love. Um, what I would say is not possible. But I mean, I guess people are always redefining social concepts, so you possibly could be in love to some degree. Um, how people are defining things these days. Uh, Drop some questions in the comments. Let's see what we got. Love for different reasons. Yeah, I said that, man. Like I always say, man, you don't go to your barber and expect them to, be able to make you a meal. You don't go to your auto mechanic and expect them to be able to do your hair. You don't expect your chef to be able to fix your car. So, you have different relationships with different people and that's built off of, what they can do, what they have the ability to do. And so I also believe that you can love people. It's actually easier to love people, in my opinion, when you love them for who they are and like what they can do. Like when you're not able to, like when you're not making an attempt to change them into who you want them to be, um, or what you think you need them to be. Let's see. Drop some questions in the comments. I guess since I'm on here, I answer some questions. Let's see who we got on here. Let's scroll up. One of the things I was talking about earlier, I guess, and they kind of mentioned it is people aren't honest, which is what puts them in the dilemma. They they are, you know, still in the figuring out process of themselves, trying to figure out, if they really like you. And so they don't tell you that, like when is the last time somebody, in the getting to know you process says, I couldn't see a future with me and your family, like something that honest, like it just doesn't happen a lot of times. Like people are there's the doctor. I was just saying it doesn't happen a lot of times. Like we run into just a lot of dishonesty in relationships, and so that means people care about other people, their time and the people, and they don't even want to be honest about that.
Hey, I don't know what's going on. Something's going on with the thing, but we're gonna figure it out.
You back? We can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
good.
Yeah, outfit change and everything. My goodness.
Who me? I didn't do no outfit change. I had the bow tie on the whole time.
Oh, okay. You look a little different.
Nah, yeah, it's this. I'm in Dr. Stallion mode. This is me. Okay, so I didn't. My bad. All right. So where did we leave off? Because I missed a lot. So go ahead. Just what was you saying?
I was kind of rambling. I was asking questions and I kind of was talking about being in love from my perspective before you uh, before we lost you. But Dayton asked a good question. Um, that he was like, let me go back. Let me see if I can read it here. Pull it up. He says, "What are the essentials in your opinion before practicing poly?" So first
Whoa,
off, I am not the poly
whoa,
guru.
whoo.
Let me let me
Yo, that's a deep question. I mean,
but it a lot of people don't know though. Like you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't know. Like and one of the things is you end up being poly almost by default if you're single because you're dating multiple people and you open yourself up to the ability to have emotional attachment to said people. So you almost end up being poly by default. So this is a great question, just in general about how to approach it. But So there are actually a few terms that have been taught by this community. You can look them up. One of them is a word that they just invented 40 years ago. It's called compersion. I'm serious, man. Like I like, and I only know because I study relationships. Like I'm into this. Like I have a heart for all different relationships.
So you asked the question, why you? That is why, because you. Yeah,
and everybody that knows me knows I'm also like a barrel of random information and facts. So so there's that. You know, like I just like if you call somebody like a bunch of random trivia, like I probably know it. I don't know why, but I do.
you're the
Um, anyway, so compersion. So basically, it's very similar to a term that I often use when I'm just basically talking about what makes someone desirable, and it's congeniality. It's your ability to be happy and to make other people happy and to get along with people. So a lot of times, like that has to be one of your priorities if you're going to enter into polyamory of any kind, because it regardless of what your who your partner is, it has to be a certain level of selflessness to try to make that person happy. So that is the first one. They call it compersion. So y'all can look that up. Those of y'all on didn't teach y'all nothing. That's COMPRPERSION compersion. It's actually
yeah. Don't ask them to spell it again. Just go ahead and get the CD. Watch the live.
yeah. Just go watch your back. Communication. Obviously honesty and transparency. Like you have to be a honest and transparent communicator in order to don't com- don't confuse
Limerence.
limerence. You have to run that back again. We need to know what that means.
Yeah, elaborate right quick.
You got to elaborate that on what that means real quick. Communication. You know, like a lot of people just don't know how to have difficult conversations in general. Then it's not for you. You know, like you have to have a lot of honest, open, transparent conversations if you're gonna do it. And so you got to be that person to be able to, you know, have honest conversations about what you want, what you desire, what your expectations are, what you're gonna do, and then follow through on that. Another thing I would say is community. So like surround yourself with people you know that kind of support you and that have gone through it. You know what I mean? Like people that have done it before. You know, people who are successful at it. And that's true for marriage. Like it's the same thing. It's basically what I'm trying to break down to you. It's literally a lifestyle choice. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. It takes the same thing to be successful at that. More so probably in the communication area than it does in a monogamous relationship. So like that's basically what I'm trying to break down. Like all of that stuff that you see or think it takes to do whatever in a monogamous relationship, it takes that and more if you want to be positive.
Yeah, because
Now,
go ahead. What you about to say?
I was getting ready to say for those of y'all, because I know it's people on here who like are tuning out of this conversation because y'all are like, you know, like Bible thumpers or whatever. Like, okay, polygamy is in the Bible, okay? Whether you want to admit it or not. Like we gotta stop ducking and dodging stuff like because we don't want to talk about certain things. It's in the Bible.
Get canceled.
like because man, I can't lie. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say it's not like there was a bunch of men who were God's men who had multiple women and married multiple women. All right, I just want that to be out. But carry on.
Nah. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Like no, I just ain't no Bible show. But I feel the spirit. I see y'all looking. I see you looking. I rebuke you now. It's not no Bible show.
But no, yeah. We gonna leave it out because
please don't. I'm not in no teacher mood. But Corinthians chapter 3 said, God.
Those of you who have your Bibles, turn with us to.
Turn with me tonight.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, so he said limerence is a state of mind which results from a romantic attraction to another person and typically includes obsessive thoughts and fantasies and a desire to form or maintain a relationship with the object of love and have one's feelings reciprocated Limerence can also be defined as an involuntary state of intense romantic desire.
I
Mm.
would liken that to lust.
Yeah, I was about to
Is
say the
what
same
this sounds
thing.
like.
Nah, he
Um,
trying to be a dictionary on us. He could have just said
yeah,
lust.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a synonym for lust. So
Yeah,
that was that was
he
that
giving
was.
us
I
the
like what you done there though.
yeah
You
yeah.
done
We
did
we
it
on the
very
we on the
very well.
Toyota Corolla version. He trying to bring the Mercedes Benz into it. You know, we just keep it basic for us. But no,
Um, I think that's always a danger, if you will, with dating. You know, like I think anytime you're dating anyone or you're open to dating, even in monogamy, lust is always a danger. Um, but I hate the fact that we teach lust one way. So I guess that's why limerence is a good word because it's more specific because lust can apply to a lot of different things. You have lust of the flesh, like anyway, that's another story. But we talk about lust in one way, typically in a romantic capacity. But lust can be overindulgent, you
I,
know.
I think I
Like
think
you can look at them oxtails and lust after them oxtails. like,
I think the put it into a relationship aspect because it's the most common.
Yeah, that's why limerence is actually a better word because it specifically applies to this relationship aspect. That's a great question. I think whoever the person is, they have to ask themselves that question. You have to ask, are you objectifying the person? Or is it a legitimate connection? I think anybody has to ask that. People who are married also have to ask that. There are many husbands who objectify their wives. They use them as whatever the maid or the sex slave or whatever the case may be. So polyamory and monogamy again does not make those separate issues.
Hold on, did you just say they use their wives as sex slaves?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a thing, man. Like there are, I mean, like regardless of what you feel about how a woman's sex drive should be, once you get married, it doesn't have to be that. And if you create you know a certain type of environment where that you feel like that's all she's good for, then that basically relegates and reduces her to that. So you just got to be careful about that in every capacity. Some of them look at her as a chef, a maid, a peon. Like, they come home and talk down to their wives and stuff like that. So I think that's something to always be careful of to answer your question.
So for you, Mr. JB,
Here you go.
just
George, it's
I
definitely
know
it's a thing,
everything.
bro. It's a thing,
Jordan,
bro.
I can't. Listen, okay, so for you, and all right, and all jokes aside, like we've known each other a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Have you yourself ever been in a situation where you loved or were in love with multiple women? How did you yourself handle it? If you are going to get in trouble with anybody, do not answer this question. Feel free to blink once if you were in danger. Blink twice, if it's good. Like I don't want you. Like I said, I ain't bring you on here to get in trouble.
No, that is like I won't. I'm not like honestly. I live transparently anyway. So anybody that I am dating, they already know what's up. So that's not something that I would have to like hide or do anything like that about. Like I speak my truth. But I can't say that I have though. Like I honestly can't say that I have. Like I think the times that I've actually been in love have been so rare that I don't that I just that just it hasn't happened. Like is it possible? Sure. I think sure, but nah. And I think one of the things is
Hey
you gotta.
Jay, try taking your AirPods out because it's getting feedback.
Let me see. All right. Hello. You there? You better.
Yeah, it's still fuzzy. All right, now mute yourself. Say something.
Action.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. I think it's possible though. I do. I really do. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's possible. I mean, hell, anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? But I think if you don't want that to happen, like if you're being self-aware, like if you're actually like, okay, I'm not going to make this decision, I'm not going to do that, then it's not going to happen. Like the only way that's going to happen is if you just kind of just floating with it, you know, like just kind of just going with the flow. Like, and as a man, I feel like it shouldn't happen to you because we're leaders in the relationship. So like, you kind of have the ability to be like, once you see something, once you see where it's going, you got to cut it off. But that's why it happens to men, bro. Because again, we ain't honest. Like we find every little raggedy, I almost said a word. I almost used the word. We find
you can say Jezebel. Just say Jezebel.
No, I was that wasn't where I was going. I wasn't going there. But we find every reason we can, man, to hold on to a woman, bro. Like we just like men in general. Like some of these women can run you over with the whole car, literally, and you would go back to them. Like for some reason, I don't understand as men why we do that. Like instead of just being honest, instead of saying like we don't. You know, like we just dumb. Like, and I don't understand why we do that. But because of that, that's why we get caught up loving two different people. Because we should have told her a long time ago, like, I never see a future with you. Like, you never have an opportunity. Yes, it was fun. Yes, we did this. Yes, we had a good time. Yes, we slept together. Or yes, we did whatever it was that we did that we enjoyed for that time. That's not going to sustain. That's not going to create a future. And like, instead of telling her that, men, we will stick around and endeavor to keep getting the benefits. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're hitting, like if that's what you're doing, like, you know, like then they'll stick around to keep hitting. Or if she give me cash you out, or even if you just like how she's spending time or she know people, whatever the case may be, we do that instead of just being honest. Then you find yourself locked into it. That's how you end up with a crazy baby mama right there. Because you didn't tell her a long time ago. And then people ask you, bro, how you get her pregnant? Because it should have been a moment. But you made a whole, like, you know what I'm saying? You should have just kept it.
Sometimes it shouldn't even be a moment. It shouldn't even go that far. It should be just the first conversation you already
Jordan said abandonment issues. That might be it, bro. I don't know why men do that, bro. I really don't understand that. Like, and the craziest part is a lot of times they
legitimately do not care. Like they don't care. Like it's not that they really invested in this person until like years and years later, like where they either got the girl pregnant or they ain't got no place to stay. They gotta stay in their house.
It's comfort. Like I think somebody said that. It's comfort.
Said that. Comfort,
it's security.
Comfort.
Yeah,
comfort,
it's all about comfort, security. It's like I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up my benefits. So I'm gonna stay here. And then, like you said, you end up in a position where you're miserable. You hate her, you know, you hate the situation, and you out there.
Here's the gag, though. Here's the gag, and I mean this wholeheartedly. And I hate to say this, but this is true. And if they on here, they probably gonna lie, but it's cool. 80% of the men I know that's married are suffering in silence. They miserable right damn now. 80% of them that I know that's married right now suffer in silence. They miserable right now.
Fellas, if you are married, do not comment. If your wife
don't say nothing.
You, don't
get in trouble. Don't say nothing. If you can't say man, just snap your fingers.
Yeah.
Like, do you dare? Because it's true. It's true. And it is not that we live in society where like people hate marriage. They did not. They loved it. That's why they stood at the altar and did it. It is not that. We live in a society where people are more aware of the options than people were 50, 60 years ago. So 50, definitely. 60 years ago, you weren't aware of your options. And so when somebody loved you, you wanted to hold near and dear. But now, your husband that live with you, right? When he don't even want to show you he love you, you got 20 niggas in your inbox telling you how beautiful you are. You see the difference? You see the difference? Like it's higher exposure. So now people are more, again, now you have more information, so you have the ability to make different decisions. And
True.
so I think like that idea of marriage just in such a way where we idolize it, I think that's dangerous, man. I think that's dangerous because everybody that does that is in for a rude awakening.
It's
You're
also
in for a rude awakening.
It's also dangerous because what people forget is that we are not back in our grandparents and great grandparents' day when folks would stay married for their entire life. Like
I said 80%, Coop. I'm telling you, 80%.
nah, Jordan said up it's
up
87.
that to 87. Niggas be miserable. I'm telling you, they be like and I don't want to say every, but I'm telling you, 87, which is nine out of 10 of the older men that I talk to that are married, even ones that like would say that they love their marriage, they would tell you if there's any possible way that you can avoid it and you can hold off, do not get married.
My mom said kick the 20 out. My mom said kick the 20 out that are married.
I ain't married. I would say it's probably because of dependency. Once you combine your life with somebody, it's hard to separate. Exactly. But why combine your life with somebody and then want to separate? That's the opposite of marriage.
Yeah. That's the point of marriage.
Like that's not the point of marriage.
And see, people forget that when you stand up there and take the vows, one thing they say, till death do us part. Like if you
but everybody that's standing up there is lying. They lying. It's not till death do you part. I know I'm about to make some people mad here. They are lying. They are lying because it's not till death do you part. There are some things that you can do between here and death that I'm finna leave you. And I mean that.
Okay. Yeah. You on that?
Lie. It's a lie.
Yeah. You on that?
I don't understand why people say that. It's a lie. Like
yeah,
we
listen,
it's gotta rephrase it. I know if I make somebody mad, it is a lie.
Listen, it's so funny. It's so funny you said that.
That would cause me to leave you, and that's just honest to God. Like if you lose your mind and you do something to my kids or something, you got to go.
I'm gone.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like there are
okay. I didn't know where you was going with that, so I'm glad.
Yeah, I know. I
was like, hold on, where you going? But no, I'm with you, because definitely because me and my girl, we're not talking marriage yet, but when we got together, she told me shut up. She said, I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of things, we can work it out. She's like, but if you ever cheat on me, I'm out. She's like, ain't no second chances, ain't nothing to talk about. Like, we gone.
Non-negotiable.
So, yeah, so I feel you on that, because you got some folks that are married that if they find out their significant other is stepping out, it's a wrap.
And here's another thing, like men will, and this I don't understand this either. Like, guys who don't want to get married, and most people who know me know that that's not on my list of stuff to do. Like if God was saying, if God don't do it, it won't get done. Okay. However, but if you, why do that? Why get married if you like, and in a lot of cases they do, like when they looking at her in her face, standing there at the altar, she looking back at you with that big old face she got. Like, you ain't gonna want to look at this face for the rest of you're not going to be attracted to this face for the rest. That. Like, like standing there. Like, that. You ain't gonna want to, like, at the very least sleep with this woman. Like, you're not gonna want to do that. Why do they do that?
I gotta
what I'm saying? Like,
here's my thing. Here's one thing I did when I was out dating. One thing.
And they cheat on her.
No, wait, what? Oh,
that's what they do. That's bound to happen. They may not do it in year 2, may not happen in year 3, but by year 5, and you roll over and you look at her, she's looking like a dragon, and she ain't gave you no sex in 3 weeks, and it's a different story. They cheat on them, and I don't understand why they do that. When they knew in the beginning, they knew she was 200 buns away from them not wanting her no more. They knew that. They knew it. They should just kept it a buck. Like, I don't understand that.
I think what it is that people settle. So you have some people who during the dating stage, they will even settle on looks and be like, and you got them friends that you look and be like, nigga, really? Like that's who you chose. All right, whatever. If you like it, but you got folks who will settle on the physical for money, for the house, for what they can do for them otherwise. And you're right. Then 5 years later, they looking like, damn, why I do this? And next thing you know,
it's almost like buying it's almost like the people who bought the first Tesla. Like they paid $100,000 for the very first Tesla, and now that's the weakest one.
Because they got all
like,
the upgrades.
And it don't even cost $100,000 no more.
So
like
you saying? So you saying anybody that got married before OnlyFans came out, they missing out?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. What I am saying is this: there are a bunch of people who would who wish they would have got their wife from Nordstrom's, because you could always take stuff back to Nordstrom's.
But
that's what I'm gonna say.
Mervin's. They went to Mervin's. Now Mervin's out of business, and they can't.
They bought it in Ross, and it's final sale. You got it
out off the clearance
Forever 21, and you cannot take that back.
Oh Lord, not the clearance rack.
This George said asked a good question though. He said, in this day and age, how fast things move, can you really be with somebody for life? Man,
it depends.
Go ahead, man.
It's a yes or a no. It honestly depends on both of you as people, because if you actually take your time during the dating stage and you take the time to learn about each other, you learn about each other's habits, you learn about each other's moods, because like in all actuality, like you said, people change. So people came into 2021 way, but after this pandemic, their whole mind frame is different. Their actions are different. Like their love level is different. So if you take the time to really learn and understand someone, and you see them in every which type of situation they can be in, and you choose the right one, it's a possibility.
I think that's impossible, man. I think that's impossible. Like you just, honestly, anybody that's married will tell you that that's not true. They'll tell you that how their wives changed after she had kids, or how after she changed after she had the second kid, or how they changed when they bought the house, or when they moved, or when she stopped working, or when he did. Like if you talk to anybody that's married, life changes bring about other changes in people. And if you're getting married, you have to be committed to the process of it. And that's the main thing that like a lot of people don't want to do. But that's why this is the other reason why I was saying when you stand there, you're lying, because you can say you're committed to the process, but there are certain like some people, they get into a certain comfortability in marriage, and like they don't want to get no better than that. And being committed to the process means at that point, now I have to just accept them for this. Like, like let's say you get married to somebody and they gain weight. What you gonna do?
That might be a deal breaker for some. I feel you on that, because some people
is
might
that
be
a deal breaker though? Like
for some people.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. For some people,
you're going to jail now.
For some people, I'm gonna tell the truth. For some people, they fell in love with that Coke bottle shape, and and that's what they saw. That's what they fell in love with. So if that shape goes, so goes he. It's the truth, and I mean it's just the way it is.
True. Is it right?
I didn't say it was right. I just said that's the case, because we know from.
Well, I mean that goes back to what I was saying. I mean, you again, it's hard for you to stand up there and say what you will and won't do
until you're in that situation. I feel you.
Until you're in that situation. So that's why, and that was my basic premise for why I was saying when people stand up there, they lie, because you haven't been in that situation. You don't know. True. Like what you say, and everybody that stands up there at the altar thinks that they're gonna be married to death do their part.
I know you.
So no one goes up there. Nobody goes up there unless it's a mail order bride, or you ordering to get somebody in this country that's getting married to somebody else and be like, man, this marriage is gonna last 2 years. Like I'll be lucky if I make it out of it. No one does that. You don't spend your money to do that. You do not have a ceremony, and you don't even stop at the little white chapel at the end of Las Vegas Boulevard and get married if you don't think it's gonna last.
But hold on, it's some folks who do that, and they, like you said, they be in for a rude awakening, because it ain't all glamorous, like they thought. Like they see certain people and they think like, oh, marriage is easy. Marriage is hard. And the only reason I can say that is because if relationships are hard, so if I know marriage got to be 10 times what relationships are, because relationships ain't easy. So
absolutely. Like, I mean, and I've lived with a woman before.
Oh, bro.
And so, like, I've had an insight into, you know, what that's like to be with somebody day in and day out, and it's difficult, bro. It is not. It ain't what you think.
Wait,
It ain't,
hold on,
'cause,
hold on,
like,
hold on. Wait, hold on, Jordan. We finna kick Jordan out of here. This fool says, so if you get married, how long should you expect to enjoy that trophy body before she fall off?
wow. Man, you know, but see, I mean, I see it both ways, man. You know, I see dudes like go downhill, man. Like, I done seen a lot of niggas like, man, that nigga used to be the quarterback in high school. Now he
Yeah,
like,
like what?
you know what I'm saying? Like, real dad vibes.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't say that, Jordan. Like, I done seen niggas lose it. Like, you know, and so if that means something to you, like Terrence said, though, you should probably connect yourself with somebody that's into fitness as well, you know,
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
committed to keeping themselves up as well. Now, if you look like, you know, a upside down slice of pizza, then you ain't much you can really say about, you
Hey,
know, if
but
your
see,
wife let her.
listen, I'm glad you brought that up because it happens. I never understood it, but I get sick of it when I see dudes talking about, look at her, and I be looking like, bro, look at you, like you can't. It's like how you gonna come at somebody for how they look when, like you said, you look like an upside down cake, you know.
That's one of the things about me, man. Like, I'm one of the most, like, I don't know if it's a word, but unshallow people. Like, I think as long as you got a decent personality, I'm open to, like, you know, like, I mean, not now, like, because I don't
I'm
like,
about to say, you know how many
but
women
like, I
finna hit
mean,
you,
like,
right?
I'm saying I have been open, yeah, in
Oh,
my
okay, I'm about to
dating
say because they
experience.
gonna hit you tonight talking about I got
I
great
know, nah,
personality.
please don't, please don't, please don't. Please don't. What I'm saying, like, but I have been open to that, you know, like, and what I found is that it's just unsuccessful. I just had to be honest with myself, and that, like, if I'm not like attracted to you, it's like physically, like extremely attracted to you,
Can't
and
do
that's
it.
it's not gonna work. Yeah,
It's not. Uncle Joe, we know your wife still has up to 27 years. Congratulations, you found one of the
Uncle Joe is
needles in the
blessed.
haystacks.
He
You
found
found the needle in the haystack, Uncle Joe. We give you
She
your
got
kudos
that.
for
She related. She got that blood like Lorenz Tate. Like, she get younger. Like,
like, how old are you?
like, I know it didn't look the same for the last 30 years, our whole life, actually. She didn't
like,
look no different.
be like, you look the same you was 13 years old.
Doris, if you're watching.
Look, when quarantine over, we all come to see your play, Auntie Doris. Don't worry. We miss you on, bro. We miss you on the stage. We all coming.
So
But
Dayton
yeah,
says everyone is shallow in one way or another.
yes, definitely. Yeah,
This
they are.
is absolutely. I can't agree with that, though.
But it's
Okay.
because it's not shallow. He used the wrong word. It's not shallow.
Yeah, you mean everybody has a preference?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's preference,
Physical
and
preference.
we get that mixed up a lot when we say people are shallow. It's not. It's you have a preference. If you have a preference,
Men ain't allowed to have preferences and vocalize them. If you have a preference, you better just take that to the grave, nigga. If you say I like women that,
hey,
what, nigga? What you say?
Hey,
say it again.
Listen, so I told you before,
got to get dragged.
Like I told you before, I made a comment on another podcast where I said I am not.
Don't you say it no more. Don't you say no.
But yeah, I said what I don't like, and you're right. I got dragged. I got crucified. I was the Antichrist that night. But
we live in a endeavor for people's endeavor to be politically correct, man. They just, like, you can't say nothing no more. Like, which is crazy.
But I don't feel like it's shallow. I feel like you like what you like. You're entitled to that as a person because you don't want to choose someone that you don't necessarily like. You know, you just wanted to give her a chance, and then you end up, in a relationship where you're trying to choose the comfort or the love or the real love.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know that you got to evaluate which one is real, because Man, actually, you know what? I was in a close. I actually do have a story that
come on. This is what I've been waiting on. Tell
yeah,
me.
I actually do
Tell me.
have a story that goes along this line.
This is a safe place.
And so I was dating somebody, and I was in love, man, like really in love. And we broke up. And when we broke up, it was like I would say maybe like 6 months, 8 months later, I started dating somebody else. And this person that I dated, the new person, I actually had known her for a long time. We had never dated though. She actually used to be married, so we was friends. And so when we reconnected, she had got a divorce. So she had been divorced for about a year, and I was single for like about 8 months. And so we start hanging out. And we end up having like just really enjoying each other's company, like having a good time. And so like we took trips, like I mean, like it was cool. And one day I was out, and my ex didn't live in the same city that I lived in.
Okay.
So like we moved away from each other. And when we broke up, we moved away from each other.
You needed to heal. I got you.
I mean, we was living together. You can't like when you break up, you can't continue to live together like work that way. Like,
somebody gotta go.
Somebody gotta go.
Somebody gotta go.
Like, what you gonna do? Anyway, so so I was out and bumped into her, and I'm talking about out of nowhere. That conversation like just went from there to Nations, and then Nations to blah blah blah. So.
And all the feelings came back. All the feelings came back.
Next day, we was on the phone for like 12 hours. Like, then the next day on the phone again. So she was like, obviously, you dealing with somebody. And I was like, yeah, I am. It's like, well, are y'all, exclusive? And I was like, no, we're not, And she was like, oh, well, I don't know what it was that made her, want to like kind of inquire into it. But basically, she didn't believe me, so she wanted me to prove that we wasn't exclusive. So this is what I did. This was where I messed up. Like, I can't even believe I did this.
Go ahead.
Because old girl had never did nothing wrong, bro. Like I was rocking tough. Like we was kicking it tough. Like I said, we was going on vacations, hanging out. Like everything was cool. Never even had an argument, bro. Like
what you do?
Nothing was wrong. I called her on the phone on three-way with the other girl. And was like, hey, I need you to tell her that it ain't like that. Oh!
Yo!
If I could take anything back, like if I could take anything back, I would not have done that. But me and my ex-girlfriend, we actually did end up getting back together. Here's
the question. You did that to get back with her, but are you still?
And we got back together.
But are you still with her?
Yeah, not today.
Okay, so my point is, you did that for what?
The gag is, I'm still cool with other little baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, so see, that's cool. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you even do that? That's why I was telling the story to say, though. Sometimes the person you in love with is not, you got to evaluate. Did I make the right decision? Because this person, the other person done put up with all this, like me being a fool. She ain't never did nothing shady. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the person you supposed to really be in love with.
Yo,
like, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like you bolder than me, because I didn't did some bold stuff before, but you, because you bold, man. Like, you are bold.
I did it. If I could take anything back, I felt bad. Because she was on the phone. She was like, really? You about to make me do this? I was like, I just need you to tell her, like, this ain't like that. Okay, she was like, all right, fine, Jeremy. Like, what you want? It's not like that. Like, we just hanging out. Like, I mean, we was. Like, it's true. Like, it really was true. But it was like, why would you even, like, invite me? It's just like, yeah. Needless to say, that didn't go well.
Uncle Cilio, no, we not want to be players. I'm not a player. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not. I suck at it. I did.
It's not even close.
I did something.
If I wanted to be, I probably would be pretty good at it though. It's easy to tell the truth. You don't have to play anymore. Whoever this is, welcome to 2020, the year where you can just be honest with all of your partners. Like, you don't have to lie.
Like it's so much worse than
like,
it's so
whoever
much.
This person is, I'm sorry. Like that whole idea of player is dead. No one has to do that anymore. If you still playing, you stuck in the 90s. All the players died in the 90s.
I learned a long time ago. Like you get so much further with just walking up with being honest and just saying.
Most people you talking to are talking to other people.
Yeah,
like it's the reality of it. Nobody you talk to is exclusively talking to you, especially if she's fine. There is no fine woman that's single, period, on this planet, walking.
At all.
She's talking to somebody. It may not be you, but it's somebody. Like, that's it. This may not be you. And then what she's going to do is reallocate her time to you as you start to, as she draw more.
She's going to break it down, and she's going to let you know in so many different ways, especially if you don't get that.
She's going to take that time that she's spending with somebody else and distribute that to you more and more as she get more comfortable or feel like, you're the choice she should choose. Like, there's no such thing as a fine single woman. They all take it. Every single one of them.
By somebody.
Somebody on it. Somebody
and it ain't Jesus. She ain't happy with Jesus alone.
Somebody is clocking it. I like that. I mean, like, hey, she come through here every Wednesday.
Yeah, like, hey.
I'm gonna say something to her.
It ain't adding up. It ain't adding up.
You done like how many? You done like 30 pictures? Okay.
Hey, now we not married. Celia, you know I'm not married.
Who is that?
That's Monica's brother.
Yeah.
That's still Celia. But nah, man, I truly appreciate
it's definitely Jesus alone.
Not for everybody. Listen, I truly appreciate you coming through tonight, man. This has definitely been this has been an interesting, fun conversation, man.
Man, this was it went left, but
nah, it didn't go left. It definitely like they said, like they've been saying in the comments, we said some things that folks need to hear because I mean, in reality,
it's some real truth. Like sometimes it's gotta come out, and so I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. The Detox Podcast, man. Thank you.
Hey, I'm telling you, next week, man, I'm gonna try to get my boy Jerry on here because we talk about toxic on here a lot, and my boy Jerry, I'm gonna be real with y'all because I gotta give y'all a preview. Jerry is probably one of the most cool, calm, collective dudes.
Man, Jerry really
he's
is.
So
though.
chill.
Jerry is such a good dude.
But the Jerry I've been seeing in the past month and a half,
they done hurt that boy heart.
Yeah,
he snatched his out of his chest. He ain't Jerry no more. That's Coop over there.
he came out throwing shots.
They didn't drag Coop off the stoop, baby. That boy acted a fool.
Celia wanna know why I'm not married. I'm not married because I'm working towards it. I'm not there yet. Once I'm there and I'm comfortable, I will be married. But right now I'm taking my time. I'm learning.
What do the miserable married men got to do? I don't know what y'all got to do, but what they do is cheat. I don't know what you're supposed to do in that situation because you can't divorce her just because you don't like her no more. I really don't know what you're supposed to do, bro. I have no advice in that situation.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna be real about one thing. Married people need to understand that there is no problem with going to couples counseling.
He say gay.
Silly or stupid. There's like real talk. One thing that, and I'm gonna just say this because in the Black community, we need to normalize and we need to actually make it a habit of talking about things because we so easily hold it in, keep it to ourselves, and a lot of times we end up talking to the wrong people. So it's no issue with going to get help from somebody, from a professional, from if you're in church, go talk to your pastor, talk to a clergy. But it's
hey man, even if you do go talk to a pastor, go get you a damn therapist, man.
Yes,
okay. Your pastor is not your therapist. Stop. Check that out. Okay, that's weird. Like for real, go get you some clinical help. Your pastor, if he has not been to school, is not your therapist. Like that's your spiritual advisor. A lot of times we over spiritualize stuff where You know, we like people are scared to go to therapy. Like
Yeah.
it's become a stigma specifically in the Black church, and people don't go. I'm just gonna talk to my pastor about it and get counseling. Like, yeah, that's cool, but you need to go sit on somebody's couch.
I was in couples therapy before. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was. It wasn't my choice, but it was like at the time I was in a relationship, and she was like, "We need to go to therapy." I ain't gonna lie to you. I was sitting there like, "Therapy? We ain't even married. Like, we ain't
I was
talking about
just thinking
getting
that.
married." Like,
The only way I would go to therapy with a woman is if I was engaged to her.
yeah, we wasn't. But I'm gonna be real with you.
But see, because if you're not committed to somebody in that way, like if you ain't said we're gonna do life together, why do you need to change for them? See, that's the problem. That's a lot of reasons why things turn into entanglements and situations get drawn and dragged out. People feel used and all that stuff. Because people feel they start changing for somebody else that they just dating, which doesn't make sense. Dating is getting to know you. So if you're changing, like, how are they going to get to know you? Like, you're never, and then when the representative is gone, y'all been together for 2-3 years or whatever, and that goes out the window, you know.
Nah, Jordan, I wasn't married.
Jordan, married.
He said, "No, I wasn't married. I was just in a 8-year relationship." I almost said entanglement. No, I was in an 8-year relationship. Yeah. Long time ago, back when I was young.
Long. You sound like Bernie Mac. Long time ago.
Long time ago. We ain't got to bring it up. It's gone. But nah, man.
Jerry need that toxic conversation, man.
Yeah, no, I'm for sure. Jerry, you coming on here? Don't duck it. Don't dodge it, cause
man, I can't wait to. I done seen a good level of toxicity in my day, which like. Listen, I don't push people that far. Y'all push these women that far because y'all do it to them. Y'all take them there. That's why they burn y'all stuff.
Hey, man, I love you, man. Matter of fact, since we talking detox, I'm glad I got you on. I'm gonna be real. We known each other years, grew up together. Uh-huh. You was always big cousin me, but it was a time I did not like you.
Get it off your chest, man.
You listen. I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna bring you back to it. After church, me, you, and the Rankins. We out there.
You finna lie. You finna tell a lie. That's what you finna do.
No. We was out there.
Lie.
We was out. Think about
it. Exactly. Yeah. You finna tell a lie.
No. Oh, you wasn't with it?
You cheated.
Listen.
You cheated. That's what because
you got burnt off the line. That's not the point. The point is.
You burned me off the line. You took off light years before me.
Listen, okay, we're not gonna go into the here's the issue. The bet was gas and $100. When I didn't
to that effect, right?
When I didn't get that, boy,
because you cheated. That's why you didn't get because you cheated.
I was looking. Look, you wasn't cutting Jeremy no more. You was that nigga who grew up on the other side of cutting, and it was like, all right, now we gonna come down that street one night, like.
I understand. Do what you must, man. I'll never get caught lacking. I understand. If you would have came, you'd have had to came through. I would have understood. Because we could have squabbed it out. We would have put the gloves on, whatever you wanted to do.
Listen, I said, this nigga trying to play me on my money.
You cheated. I told you that day. You cheated. Me and you did, and you didn't want to run it back. I was like, let's really like you took off days before I ever took off.
We couldn't hold the street no more. It was too hot.
Yeah. We had to go. You had to leave or something too, though. You had baseball practice or something.
Yeah, it was something, you know. And for
you
my
had
mama
to leave.
watching this, Mom, I know you watching. I know these things you probably didn't need to hear about.
So,
because, you know.
Hey, man to man, though,
since
you want to bring that up, you should have looked at it like this. Anytime you have a bet and you don't give your family an opportunity to bet it back, you gotta chalk it up because you at least gotta give your family an opportunity.
Listen, family or not, bro.
You supposed to bet it back.
We always gotta bet it back, bro. Don't play with me, family or not, bro. You know, you give me your word. You know,
I understand.
It is what it is, but I love you, man. I truly appreciate this, man. This
is
a fun conversation. And Jerry, get ready. I'm bringing Coop on. I don't want Jerry. I'm bringing Coop. I need Coop next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Coop.
Yeah, because you gonna have to relive this one more time once you get it off your chest for the last time. Because
Hey, and for those of y'all watching, my podcast ain't gonna be like this. You know, we're gonna try to be a little bit more sophisticated on the when y'all come to the big fella side. You know, it's gonna be like, you know, we gonna try to. But I'm gonna have him over there too, though, so y'all will see his face again. And
listen,
thank y'all again for having
it's
me,
all
cuz.
love,
Appreciate
brother,
it.
man.
Yeah.
You have a good night. For everyone that's watching, thank you. Truly love and appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go and share, tell your friends, you know, and we'll see you next week. We out.